The turn of the month, the turn of the financial year, but April Fool's Day, when it comes to your household bills, is no joke. Let's have a little look at what is going to be landing in your inbox or on your doormat from your mobile and broadband and TV providers. More than £100 increase coming. Council tax, on average, up £108. Water, the big one this year, £123 on average, and energy bills up £111. That gives a total, on average, of £448 in increased bills heading to households. Let's see how that compares with last year. A big difference in energy. This time last year, energy bills actually fell quite substantially, albeit from record highs. That water increase I was talking about, there's been a price review, it's known, happens every 5 years. The water companies want to spend more on infrastructure to meet our concerns over sewage and the rest. Well, that means we pay another £100 about their council tax. About the same increase as last year, a little bit less when it comes to mobile and broadband. Add that all together and we get to this £448 figure. So more than £400 more on our bill increases than this time last year. Let's go through them category by category. Talked about the energy price cap, those big spikes after the start of the Ukraine war in the summer of 2022. You can see a year ago, the prices went down. This year, up by £111. Remember, that applies only to people who are on floating variable rates for their energy bills. If you're fixed, then that won't change. But about 11 million households will feel that change. And in 3 months, it'll change again, expected to go down slightly. What about water? Well, the water companies across the board have been given the right by the regulator, Ofwat, to raise bills by an average of 26%. That works out about £123, but big regional variations. Let's start with the most expensive in the south, Medway. That's on the Thames Estuary in Kent. Southern Water, they're putting up bills by 47%. That's £225 for a house in that area. If you're lucky enough to live in the northeast, and Northumbria Water in Sunderland provide your water, it's only £80, a 19% increase. Remember, water, it's a monopoly, it's competition in name only. You cannot switch. What about council tax? As 5% is the average increase. 85% of councils across the country have got that. £108 is the average for a Band D property, but again, big regional variations. Bradford applied to Angela Rayner to be able to raise its council tax bill by more than 9%. That's £191 extra for households in Bradford, compared to Wandsworth in southwest London, £29 only, and a 3% increase there. So, and again, a big regional variation. How does it work by household? A quick look across the board, 3 different household types. Between 1 and 2 people, you're looking at more than £300 on your bills. 3 people, £448, and more than 4 people, over £550 stands to reason. But while bills are going up, there are also increases to income we can look at very quickly. Pensioners, the state pension, triple lock delivers another generous increase of more than 4%. That's £471 more for a pensioner. If you're just looking at the household bills gap, that's £150 nearly more in a pensioner's pocket. What about the minimum wage? That's what the government wants to talk about today. 6.7% increase. It's about £1,400 to an individual. That's now around £23,000 a year. It's quite a substantial amount of money. Again, there's a fiscal drag we mentioned there. That's because tax thresholds are frozen, so you are paying a bit more of your income into those salary thresholds, but there's still a net change, nearly £900 more. Finally, if we look at average earnings, median earnings are about £38,000. We've looked at a household with 2 average earners. Wages, on average, went up nearly 6% in January. That's £4,300 across 2 earners, so quite a big net change. People will be looking at that and saying, my wages didn't go up 5.8%. Of course, it's dependent on what you received. And these figures, I should say, do not take account of food inflation, that weekly cost that's gone up so much, or fuel variables. Also, when we're talking about wages, don't look at what the impact might be of national insurance increases, which are also coming in this month. And all the soundings from business are that's going to change their approach to wages. But we can see incomes are going up, but they're having to deal with these really hefty increases in our household bills.